sentence like this, right? Did I type it out or did I? Yeah, hit the ball high enough to have a sixer. How about this one? Is it a noun? Is it an adjective? Is it an adverb? What do you think? What is it? Louder. Adverb, right? So here I'm saying hit the ball. So basically, my instruction is on how that hitting of the ball should be done, right? How the action has to be done. So if your question answers, if your word answers the question, how, obviously we are talking about a word that's an adverb, right? So look at the word high. Again, high also has an adverbial use, right? Were you aware of this use before, or you always thought high was just an adjective? Did you know it was used as an adverb also?
Yes.
You knew the usage, then why did you not give me the example? I asked you.
It was
Huh?
where
The prices
It
of
was?
food are high
Sanchi, I didn't hear you clearly. I didn't hear Grishma also.
the prices of food are high.
The prices of food are high. Prices of food are high. That high is not adverb. That is an adjective, right? High price. Question is on the use of high as an adverb. I don't think many people would be aware of that use. Usually, because high, direct, and all that, they figure as adjectives in English language. And I'm sure most of us in our subcontinent, Indian subcontinent, mostly we may be using them as adverbs here and there, but we are not paying attention to whether we are using them as adjectives or adverb, right? So high is very commonly used as an adverb also, like late and early. But maybe people don't, mark it off that way. Okay. All right. Now next is what? Oh, again this one. The plane was dash up in the sky, highly high.
high.
High, high,
Was high up in the sky. Now here is high used as an adverb or an adjective. The plane was high up in the sky.
adjective,
Look at it carefully. Plane was high up in the sky.
adverb,
So I take both the answers if you tell me how.
Adjective
Adjective.
Why adjective? Why adverb?
because it is describing the position, or we can say the state of the plane.
It is telling you about the position of the plane. The plane was high up in the sky. So what is it then? Adverb or adjective?
Adjective. Adjective.
Plane was high up in the sky. No, here this is not the case. The plane was high up in the sky. Is not directly associated with. So these are the traps, right? So you might want to think that high is associated with plane. If it was associated with the plane, then we could have. Still, you would call it an adjective, but here high is not associated with plane. High is associated with sky. Okay. In either cases, even if you uh, you know um, interpreted it as something that is associated with the plane, you would have still answered adjective, right? But in fact, if you look closely at the sentence, high is about the. It's not about the plane. It's about high up in the sky. It's about sky. But okay, sky is also a noun here, so we go ahead and mark it as an adjective. Okay, it's not an adverb here. It's about a particular positioning in the sky, right? High sky. So this is an adjective, but an adjective that is associated with the sky, not with the plane. Okay, so do not always read the sentence a little carefully. Right, you'll understand this. Have you understood why we say that it is associated with the sky and not plane?
Yes.
yes, ma'am.
Because we don't say high plane, right? If it was associated with plane, then you should have been able to say high plane, like in the case of beautiful girl. Can we say high plane? No, right? But we can say high sky, high up in the sky. So this is something that is associated with the sky, not with the plane. Okay, we might have a tendency to immediately say that, oh, this is about the plane, but read a little and you'll, closer and you'll know that we are not talking about it. Okay, I hope you've understood why that confusion came. Okay, this is the ninth one. It was a dash train, slowly. I'm not discussing slowly. I think last class we already talked about how slow can be used both as adverb and adjective, right? So what is the answer here? It was a dash train. Slow
Slow.
train or
Slow.
slow train, right? So here, are we using this as an adverb or an adjective? I say it was a slow train.
Adjective.
Okay. This is a clear case of an adjective. You are attributing the quality of slowness to the train directly. So this is adjective, right? Slow train. Okay. 10th one, how dash of you to help me? Nice. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, how nice of you to help me. And here again, adjective adverb, how nice of you to help me. Adjective, right? So basically, I am saying that you are nice. That is basically what I'm trying to say, that you are nice. So this is adjective. It's used as an adjective. Nice is used as an adjective. 11th one, I have dash
Ma'am,
finished nearly me. Yeah. Question?
ma'am, small regarding revision sessions, ma'am. Week 1 and week 2.
We don't have revision sessions, I don't think. If you have any, you will get an announcement. I don't think although there's anything like that. Because we've already had sessions on them. So that's how usually we function for English courses. But if there's any, you will get an announcement. As of now, I'm not aware of it.
Ma'am, can you send the playlist of the live recording session?
Playlist.
Yes, ma'am.
I think it is already available, but I don't think it is updated yet. We are still in the process of updating it. I think you can check it in next one day. By tomorrow, end of the day, please check it. And if it is not updated yet, please write to us. Okay. Tomorrow, EOD, please check.
Other subjects having the revision session, please try in English also.
Yeah, but we know that has been the way for them even before. We haven't had revision sessions for any runs as of now. That's because we have too many other sessions anyway running for practice. So that's consider more than enough for you to practice. The syllabus is also quite low for this. So I don't think it is required. However, I mean, if there's anything, I'm sure you will get an announcement. Please watch out that space in case there's any, you will get a mail about it. Okay. So you have, what is it? Where were we? Yeah, 11th. I have dash finish nearly near.
Nearly.
Nearly.
I have near finished. Okay. I have near finished. Any other answers? Nearly. Okay. Now you have to tell me why near. Why nearly?
Nearly is an adverb, so it will modify the word finish.
So it has to finish this what? Finished is what is it? Finished. Finished something. Right? I've nearly finished something. So we don't have it entirely in the sentence, but nearly is the right word to use here, not near finished. You don't say I have near finished. Okay. I have nearly finished. How did you finish? Right? You have nearly finished. Near is what? Near is mostly used as an adjective, or it is also used as a preposition, not as an adverb, but near is used as an adjective, and it's also used as a preposition, right? But there's no adverbial usage for near because we have to talk about how that action was completed or how it was finished. We have to use an adverb and not an adjective. Near doesn't have an adverbial use. It can only be used as an adjective or a preposition. So we use nearly. Nearly is the right answer here. Okay, because that's the only adverb that's available to us in the bracket. Okay. The tall woman smiled at me dash prettily.
Prettily.
Yeah. How did she smile? Prettily. Right? So prettily. Pretty again is something that you use as mostly as an adjective, but can pretty be used as an adverb?
Yes.
Can you use it? Yeah, you can,
Pardon.
right? You can. Because pretty is also something that can be used as an adverb of degree, right? Have you heard of this one? So very or quiet or somewhat or almost, most, these are all adverbs of degree, right? So pretty also qualifies as an adverb of degree. So you can say uh, this time the intake for the BS online degree was pretty high, right? So here pretty high, you're not using them as uh, adjective. Pretty high here is, pretty is what? Pretty is an adverb which is qualifying the adjective high. It's telling to what extent it was high. It was pretty high. Okay. So pretty can be used as an adverb as well, but in this case we cannot use it given the context of the sentence. Here what matters is prettily, because we are defining how a certain action has happened, right? We are not talking about an extent to what it to how the action was done. So prettily. Okay. Do you want me to leave that sentence in the chat? I think you're understanding, right? I don't have to give everything in the chat. Yes, no?
Yes, ma'am.
That example is clear, right? The intake was pretty high. And why pretty is an adverb in that case. Okay. 13th one. The bus was going dash, stopping at each bus stop, slowly.
Slowly.
The bus was
Slowly.
going.
Slowly.
So you could either say the bus was going slow, or you could also say the bus was going slowly, right? I think last class we discussed how both slow and slowly both qualify for adverbial use, right? Slow, you can either fill in the blank with slow, or you can also say slowly. However, the more accurate version, or more than accurate, I think the formal written English is always going to choose slowly over slow. In conversational, a little informal register of English use, you would hear people saying going slow. The bus was going slow. Okay. But in the formal written English, it's always the bus was going slowly. Now, as far as your exams are concerned, you either mark slow or slowly. You get credits for both. Okay. Because we go by functional English. So if anything is acceptable in functional use of English, then we go ahead with it. And that doesn't mean that anything that we use, if it is accepted in the standard registers of usage, then we are okay with it, right? So, for example, slowly in the standard registers, they are used. Only in the written English format, people do say that in formal English, we go for slowly and not slow, right? So, if there is a larger agreement, if there's a universal agreement on use of both in a certain context, then we give you credits, whatever you want. Okay. So don't come to us and say that, oh, but I use it like that. It's not about that. Of course, we have standards that we need to follow in certain cases. And standards always come from corpus, right? So if a large group of people are using it and if it is codified, then we always, there's always a provision to consider that is correct. So we don't qualify for that. It definitely has to come from a different kind of discourse and corpus. Okay, so slowly, both qualifies in this blank. You can either say slow or you can say slowly. Both are right. Slowly being more formal. Okay. The motorways in your country, 14th one, are not badly.
Bad.
Bad. Are not bad.
Bad.
You would say not badly. Are not bad, right? It's not bad. Okay. Okay. 15th one, he didn't realize how dash things looked for us. Badly.
Badly.
He didn't realize
Bad.
how badly things look for us. Okay. Badly is correct. That should be okay. But how about bad? Can we write bad as well? What do you think? He didn't realize how bad, right? Yeah, bad things look for us. Can we say that, or do you think there's something wrong?
No, I guess it's right.
You can say that,
Can
right?
say
So again,
that.
this is the case like slow and slowly. So in the informal registers, conversational language, you could also say bad, right? He didn't realize how bad things look for us. Badly, of course, is the choice for formal registers, for formal writing. And by formal, I always mean writing. Whenever you're using English to write something, document something, you always choose badly, not bad, right? But otherwise, in the conversational domain, you either say badly or bad.
But ma'am, formally we say how bad things looked for us only, no?
Yes, ma'am.
No, no. Formally, it has to be always badly. It's a case with slowly also. Exactly. Because these are all adverbs of manner. This is talking about how something has happened. So if it's a manner adverb, usually for formal register, it's always with an ly. Okay, only in the cases where it's not possible, like say fast or something, wherein a word like fastly actually doesn't exist is something that we used to say. But these days, I have seen people using fastly also in writing. But yes, between bad and badly, badly is formal, and slow and slowly, slowly is formal. Okay, please look for us. Yeah, this one we finished just now. Then next one, I dash know her hardly. Yeah. Yeah, I hardly know her. I hard know her is no answer. I hardly know her. Yes. Uh, I haven't seen him, 17th one. I haven't seen him dash lately.
Lately,
Lately. I haven't seen him lately. Yeah. I haven't seen him late will give you a very different meaning. Okay. 18th one. I have tried dash to pass my exam hardly.
hard.
Hard, right? Hardly again is going to give you a very different meaning. Then comes he looked at us dash coldly.
Coldly.
He looked at us coldly. Yes, he looked at us coldly. Okay. Then my sister is somewhere dash the shop nearly.
Near.
Near.
Near the shop, right? Near the shop. Okay. All right. Okay. Any questions from that part? So of course you have to uh, do a bit of more practice in this regard. So, particularly when you're doing it, look for words which can have both adjectival and adverbial use, right? So, although they look very simple and very straightforward, sometimes they could lay out some kind of confusions while you use them in sentence. So, look up for these, very easily available online. You can find them anywhere. Just type in few keywords, and I think the Google at least will show you. Very good 10 to 15 exercises which you can handle, like the one that I discussed with you. I've chosen it from a certain website. The source is provided there, so you can look up for more like this, and see the question, and don't just like blindly look at the answers and move away. Try to understand why say a certain option is not right, because that will teach you the actual grammar which requires also the meaning to be intact. Okay. Yeah, someone, any questions? Somebody's hands raised, I heard, but I didn't see. Who's that? Sanchi. Yeah, go ahead, Sanchi.
I was not quite satisfied with the answer, so I searched it up on Google about the question. He looked at us badly,
Ah,
so in that case, it should be bad, not badly.
no, no. Badly is the formal use of uh, the adverb badly. Okay. How badly the things look.
And I searched that on Google as well, but here the result is like badly is not
Google
correct in
will
this
show you AI
sentence.
results. No? They're all prone to it. So, uh, between slowly, badly, formal registers always use badly. I never said it is wrong. What I said is that the usage is formal and informal, right? So if you're using it in the written English, then the choice for you has to be always the ly adverb. That is how it is conducted. Okay. Bad, you won't get a wrong, but that is only for the exam. But if you're writing it in the official space in the formal domain, it has to remain bad. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, this is for rest of you also, right? So this is the discussion is very similar to slow and slowly. So while you can use both the options in the blank and you may get it right, the point here is that if you are using it in the formal domain or official domain, in the formal register, then your choice always has to be the ly adverb. Okay, that is the point that I was trying to make. I hope it is clear now. Okay. Uh, Then, yeah, so any other questions? Can we move on to prepositions quickly?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So, I see. Yeah. In prepositions, so I think I am more interested in discussing with you the common things, like in the case of adjectives and adverbs, because uh, the other prepositions that you see, right? Like, for example, look at the ones that you have here in the brackets: instead, than, besides, beyond, despite, against, inside, right? Over, since, until. These are all the prepositions that they don't work by rule. Okay, and by saying that they don't work by rule, what I mean to say is that you have something called grammatical collocation, right? You must have come across this term while you were learning the module on vocabulary, right? So, what is a collocation? Anybody can you tell me if you know it? What do you understand by the word collocation? Collocation. No, collocation means it's a pair of two words, right? So such that their frequency of occurring together is always high, right? So it's a pair of words, right? Two words in a pair, which frequently and recurrently appear together, right? So example for that would be something like this, right? Profusely sweating, or even bleeding. Just look at your chat for the example. Profusely sweating, profusely bleeding. So the moment you have a word like sweating, sorry for the typo in sweating. So the moment you have something like profusely, the listener or the reader is able to guess that the next word would be sweating or bleeding, right? So if this is a situation, and why does it happen? Because in the actual use of these words, the pair of these words, the pair is always used together. They always appear together. They always are used together. They frequently recur in the discourse use, in the whether that is in writing or whether that is in speech. They always appear together, right? Hmm? Which is why we call them collocation. That is the meaning of the word collocation. Such that if you have one word, you can automatically guess what is going to be the next, right? So if I have a word like profusely, I know it would be followed either by bleeding or sweating. By this, we don't mean that other kind of combinations are not possible. There are other kind of combinations possible with profusely also, but they don't form a collocation. Why? Because I cannot guess it. The only two words I can immediately guess or say is sweating and bleeding. So then sweating and bleeding becomes a collocational pair for the word profusely, or the other way around, right? Profusely becomes a collocational word in the pair for sweating and bleeding, right? While other combinations are possible, those combinations are not easily guessed by people. And why is it not easily guessed? Because the frequency of their appearance together in writing or speech is very low. Okay. So to give you another example, if I have a word like red, can you give me some combinations with red?
Dress.
Yeah, so you can say red dress, you can say red pen, you can say red pencil, you can say red bottle, you can say red notebook, red phone, or red cupboard. Or no, it's actually it's limitless. You can add as many words as you want to that. So red is then not a word which will become a part of a collocational pair. But there are things that can become a collocational pair with red. So for example, say something like red tape. Red tape is a very what is that? It's a term that is used very commonly in administration and politics, or something like red herrings. So red tape, red herrings, they qualify as collocational pairs because you can't say blue tape and blue herrings, right? Then nothing like that exists. But red coat or red pencil or red pen, these are not collocational pairs because there's literally thousands of millions of possible options with red in that case, right? So similarly, in grammar, you have collocational pairs, and prepositions are very, very prone to such collocations in language. So why do you say lean against? Why do we say relevant for? Why do we say typical of? Why don't we say typical for? The answer to that question is that this is a collocational pair. You never say typical for. You have to always say typical of. Grammatical collocations, they are more stronger than the collocation that you see between words of other classes. Like red and herrings, that's a combination between adjective and noun. So this lexical combination is what we call them. This is little weaker, okay? Like you saw in the case of red coat and red herrings, red tape, right? So red also has collocational pairs, but red also has non-collocational pairs like coat. But in the case of grammar, especially if you look at prepositions like relevant, relevant for, or typical of, or lean against, these are fixed pairs. You cannot bring any other preposition with the word lean, right? It's impossible. So it's more stronger. Their bond is more stronger. So prepositions, when we talk about, there are many grammatical collocations like that, by which I mean you cannot ask the question why. Why cannot it be for? Why cannot it be between? Why is it always differentiate between? Why is it not differentiate for? So the answer, simply the answer is there's a strong collocational bond between different and differentiate and between, the preposition between. So it has to be always used like that in the language. Or again, to give us more agency, you can say that the speakers of that language use the language in that way. This is the only accepted form of usage as far as the speakers of the legitimate speakers of that language is concerned. Okay. So the first exercise that you have here in preposition is basically, an example of how grammatical collocations of preposition work. After that, okay, once that questions are done, which is the part I am more interested in, starting from 11 to about, I think, 30, 40 of them. These are the prepositions which I am more interested in. They are simple ones, right? What are they? They are in, on, and at, right? I'm more interested in them because they are more fluid. They can be used in multiple contexts, right? And these are the ones which can get you a wrong answer. Grammatical collocation, once you understand, you will never go wrong on that. But if you have prepositions like in, on, at, they are very prone to mistakes because you need to understand the concept more clearly to use them without a mistake. Okay, so we'll anyway start off with the prepositions. Look at the first 10 blanks, but we'll discuss more in detail about the in, on, at prepositions. Okay. All right. Somebody had some questions somewhere. I think I saw the hands raised, but then I didn't want to break my thread of thought. Any questions?
Ma'am, is there any set of rules for collocation or is it on a
For
no?
collocations?
Yes.
No, unfortunately, no. We
So it's
don't
on a
have any
no
rules.
basis, like from general knowledge, whatever we know, we speak.
Yeah, more than general knowledge, it is based on your the reading experience and your listening experience. Okay. So general knowledge also, yeah, maybe general knowledge is also part of that as well, right? Reading is how you improve your general knowledge also. So the more you expose yourself in the target language, you will know what kind of pairs are collocational and what are not, right? So we cannot have a list given. Usually what happens is, I think you can read short articles like, the newspaper articles. They're barely 1 or 2 minute read, right? So I think to begin with, instead of looking at large texts from textbooks or from lectures or from novels and all that, I always suggest people to begin with the newspaper article reading because they're very easy to handle. They don't take more than 1 or 2 minutes of your life. So if you read at least say 5 or 6 of them to begin with every day, you will see a lot of change by the end of 1 month. Even 1 month is more than enough to see that noticeable difference. After you have had some experience in that, you can slowly move on to bigger text, longer forms of text. That's how you do it. Okay. So no shortcut. I'm sorry about that. You have to expose yourself more to the language so that you will start getting an understanding of how the collocation works. The language. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so we'll start with the exercise then. Let's look at the first question. I don't think we'll be able to take up the in on it today, but I at least want to finish off the first 10 questions, okay? The grammatical collocational prepositions. I'd rather study and pass dash repeat the course instead than or
Can
this.
repeat the course.
Yeah. Than repeat the course? Yes. Pass, than repeat the course. Okay. Second, talking on phone while driving is dash the law. beyond
Against.
this bit.
Against.
Against.
Yeah, talking on phone while driving is against the law. Correct. You will receive your parcel dash within, during,
Within 10
inside,
days.
Within.
within 10 days, right? Time limit, upper and lower limit, within uh, within 10 days. In this case, you are clearly dash a disadvantage in with.
With.
Yeah.
With.
At a disadvantage.
Yeah. So this, please make a note of the fourth one. The answer is at. Okay. In this case, you are clearly at a disadvantage. If I change disadvantage to advantage, then again it has to remain same at. Okay. But the article will change. In this case, you are clearly at an advantage. Okay. So in case of both disadvantage and advantage, you say at, somebody is at a disadvantage. Okay. Someone is at a disadvantage. Someone is at an advantage. Somebody is at an advantage. Okay. The collocational use here with advantage is the preposition at a disadvantage, at an advantage. Okay. Fifth one, this book dash PJ Wodehouse is full of wit and humor.
By.
This book
By.
by PJ Wodehouse, not of PJ Wodehouse. A lot of people will do the of is a partitive phrase. You shouldn't use that when you're showing possession, right? Sorry, when you're showing possession, you can use that, but the book is not possession of PJ Wodehouse. It's a product of the author. So when you mean to use something as a product of something or somebody, then you say by. Okay. If you're showing it as a possession, then you say of. Okay. Sixth one, my parents lived in the same city dash ages for over 6.
For.
For ages.
For.
Period of time has to be always shown with for. If you have to use since, then you need to have a particular point of time. You have to mention a particular point of time, 2 periods of time, then you can use since. If it is a random, non-mentioned, non-specified period of time, then it's always for. Okay. Seventh one, the singer is French. I was dashed the impression that she's Dutch. Off, under, in.
Under.
Under.
I was under the impression that she is Dutch, not off the impression. A lot of people would say off the impression. I was of the impression. Of the impression is actually a wrong usage. It somehow has crept into the use, particularly I think in the Indian English. But remember, it is I was under the impression that she's Dutch. Of. Okay. Then comes the train should have been here dash now until about by.
By.
By now.
By.
By
By.
now. Again showing limits of time by now. Showing the lower limit, the upper limit. By now. 9, we've put a lot of effort here. This is also one of my favorite questions. We've put a lot of effort dash
Into.
this one. Yeah. Into for. What is definitely not the answer?
For.
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 Right? For is definitely not the answer. So between in and into.
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 Into, not in. Okay. We put a lot of effort in this work, into this work. Answer is into. Okay, don't say in this work. Say into this work. Okay, into with the work is also a collocational use. Don't say I put a lot of work in this work. It's not wrong, but it's a very casual use. Right? It's very Indian English conversational use. It's not even the other. So it's not wrong. I mean, nobody would say that you're absolutely wrong and you've got it wrong. But the actual use of the collocation is into this work. I've put some efforts into this work. Okay, I've put some. I have gone through some real struggle into this work. Right, so it's always into. In is not wrong. So hear me out properly. In is not wrong. It's not absolutely grammatically wrong construction. It is in the informal domains acceptable. But again, like we talked about slowly, badly. Formally, when you're using English with someone, whether that's in speech or in writing, the use always has to be into this work. Okay, because that's the accepted formal standard usage. Okay. My friend and I drove dash the coastline of Chennai through onto along.
Along.
along, right? You can't drive into the coastline. You can't drive through the coastline. You can't drive onto also. You can only drive along, right? So along the coastline of Chile. Yeah, I think that's all. The next set begins for in on at. I think that we can take up next class. Okay. So for you guys, I think maybe on Thursday, right? We'll have one more session. Usually it is only one session per week, but then because I want to cover a little more for your this is what is that qualifier? So next Sunday is the qualifier. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So on Thursday, we might do one more quick session so that we can wind up prepositions and I can discuss with you a little bit on articles. Okay. That much I want to finish before the qualifier, not because I want to finish, but I want to get some idea of that. Okay. So we'll send out an announcement. Please keep watching that space. Only for this week, we'll have one more session. That's all. Yeah. Shelly, question?
Ma'am, can you please explain the fifth
Which one?
question?
Fifth one.
Why fifth question?
Fifth, this book. That question?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So see, Shelly, when you are talking about a product or something as a possession, right? Then you use the preposition of to show that it belongs to you, right? But here, if you look at it, this book dash PJ Wodehouse is full of wit and humor. We are talking about the book as a product by somebody, someone's product, the product of someone's labor, right? If that is how you are referring to the book as, then you say by somebody, you don't say of. So we're referring to the work, P.J. Wodehouse work or his book, not as a possession, the author, but as a byproduct or as a, not byproduct, as a product of that person's effort, right? Or as the author's product. So when you mean it as a product, then you say by. In the sentence, that is how it is. Okay. If you mean it as if you want to talk about it as
Ma'am,
possession, then you say
answer
of.
is by.
Sorry?
Here the answer is by. Answer of
Yeah, here the answer
is
is by.
by.
Yes. Correct. Here it is by. Okay.
And
Any other
question.
question?
The
Which one?
seventh.
Seventh. The
Seventh.
singer is French. That question?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So here it is under again because collocational use. So with impression, it's always under the impression. That's how English constructions are. Of the impression is off late a construction that I also hear with people. Again, I'll go by the same thing. It is not wrong if a lot of people are using it, but then officially or formally, we do not accept that as the answer. Okay, in conversations, fine. You can say I was of the impression that something happened, but in written English, it has to be always under the impression. Okay, that's a collocation. It's a grammatical collocation. With impression, it is always the acceptable use is under the impression. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, I joined late, so where should we get the recording of this lecture?
So I think I myself started the recording a little late, but I think that was only the first few questions, if I am not wrong. I think we did a few, 5 questions or so without that, but then after that we started the recording. But yeah, even if it was a little late, I think the essence of what we were discussing for the first 5 questions, they were all discussed in the next 5 questions. So I don't think it should be a problem. In case you have a question, please write. Okay, we'll answer them in the group.
Okay.
Yeah. So Shelly, then there's Sri Yukta.
Ma'am, when are we getting the hall tickets?
Oh, I don't know, Sri Yukta. I think support will be able to help you with that. I am not aware of those kind of things.
Yeah, okay. My question is like, will it be released 2 days prior the exam or?
Could be. Usually, I think a week or 3 or 4 days before. That's usually the timeline, but I am not exactly sure what day or date is it going to be released. That usually the support or the admin knows a better.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Sure. Is that all? Can we wrap up for today? So Thursday, please be prepared to come to the class in case you're finding it helpful. So we'll discuss the in on it prepositions and also the articles, right? So remember the setup is only,
Excuse me, ma'am.
so we are not going to have it for the subsequent week. The subsequent weeks, we're only going to have the Monday session, unless of course there's some other emergency. But because I want to cover it for the qualifier, I might do one on Thursday. Yeah, Shelly, question?
M- Ma'am, today you started from adjective or adverb?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. All right then. Thank you so much. We'll meet again on Thursday then. See you all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sure. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Shelly, yeah, yes, go ahead.
ma'am, I have a little doubt in a little, a few in these types of questions.
Uh, you have that for this exam, which you're from English 1, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So where did you have that for common errors?
Ma'am, these types of questions I seen in the PYQ where a little, a
PYQ.
few.
PYQ, you
Yes.
see that if it is, see which year's PYQ that is. If it is an older version, I think 23 or something, we had revised the syllabus a little bit. So check if it is a part of your curriculum now. If it is not, then let it be. If it is, then okay. Anyway, I can clear it even otherwise. It doesn't matter. So a few, a little that one, right? So these are all what you
Yes,
call as
ma'am.
quantifiers. Okay. So the confusion here for most of the people is that they use the word few to mean that there is some amount left. So if I have to say that there are some amount of eggs left in the basket, then I say there are a few eggs left in the basket. I don't say there are few eggs. If I say there are few eggs left in the basket, I mean to say there are none. Right? There are no eggs left. That's what I mean. So to say that some amount is still there, I have to use a few. Okay. And a few is always used with countable products. So eggs are countable, apples are countable. Anything that is countable, they will use few to show that there is none left. To show that there is some left, you will use a few. Now, the case with a little and little is that they are used with uncountable nouns. Okay, so say I have little milk left in the jug. Okay, left in the jug or container, whatever. So what do I mean? If I say if I have little milk left in the jug, do I mean to say that there is some milk left, or am I saying that there is no milk left? Tell me.
Some.
Ma'am, a little or little. What do you say?
I said little. There is little milk left in the jug.
Ma'am, means none of is left in the.
Do we mean to say, am I saying that there is some left, or am I saying that there is none left? There is nothing left. Does little have a positive meaning or a negative meaning? That is my question. It's negative, right? When I say little money left or um, uh, little milk left, what do I mean? Almost none. Like there's nothing. It's a
Nothing is
negative
left.
expression. Nothing is left. Just like few.
It is
When I say a
same as
little,
that of you.
yes, same as that of you. When I say there is a little milk left, I mean there is some small amount left. Something is there. It's not nothing. Something is there. Got it?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. So that is the difference between both of them. Although I am still confused which part it is. Even if it is available, I think it should be the common errors part. Otherwise, quantifiers are all in English too. Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you for the questions. We'll see you again on Thursday.